We all desire a healthy, happy, and purpose-driven life. It's a journey that's self-defined, self-directed, and self-disciplined. And the quest for a healthy life really is made up of a series of choices. Sometimes those choices we make are based on habit, or stress, or life events. And it's really an individual decision on how we pursue health and wellness and what those mean in our lives. The type of life that we're trying to achieve can look different for each individual person, but we still should all develop some tools and strategies that are safe and effective to help us get to that goal, whatever it is. We also really need educators to watch out for their own health and wellness. Pivoting during major change is hard. It's almost impossible to know what normal looks like. We don't have a baseline, and change is happening faster than ever as we adopt to remote work, school, and a mixture of the two. We have to be intentional to take care of ourselves at home, at the job, and the activities that help support us and support our health and wellness. First, we want to talk a little bit about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So Maslow's hierarchy is a good way to think about our needs and what we desire to achieve. So think about the metaphor, don't put the cart before the horse, or the old saying, first things first. When I was in the classroom, I'd always ask my students why first things would come first. It was a bit of a trick question with a very simple answer. First things are foundations of future success. So without our needs being fulfilled, wellness is going to stay out of reach. Maslow's hierarchy of needs is a model based on the thought that human beings are designed to act or behave in a certain way in order to get the things that they need. As you can see here, the hierarchy is typically depicted as 5 areas on a pyramid, with the more foundational needs at the bottom. Everyone starts at the bottom when building their pyramid. They need to make sure they have the bare necessities before they can move on to more specific and more individualized needs. The model assumes that each person starts at the bottom of the pyramid, but doesn't move up to the next level until that level reaches an acceptable level. So the level of the pyramids really start on a more basic foundational need, and the way people progress is kind of complex, because it's really different for every person. We expect people who move into new levels to experience maturity and personal growth and development along the way. So let's start by looking at the foundation in Maslow's hierarchy of needs. The first is physiological needs. This is the most important level. Think of this level as human survival, the main elements that we need to live. The basic needs are air, food, water, housing, sleep. Without these basic needs, the body's unable to work properly. After those needs are met, the next level is safety. Feeling secure and safe is an important level in the pyramid. Individuals need to feel safe physically and mentally. Individuals also have to feel secure in their environments, with a stable source of finances, protection from the elements. Having a level of security allows people to feel protected from the unknown, and that really allows them to develop and grow to the third level of the pyramid. The third level of Maslow's hierarchy is love and belonging. This level of need is the need to give love and receive it in return. Personal relationships give people a sense of trust, intimacy, and special closeness with the ones they love. People also thrive as members of social groups and communities, and along with others who have similar characteristics and interests. Moving up, the fourth need is esteem, which deals with ego, approval, and recognition. Humans have a need to be recognized by our peers for our achievements and contributions. We feel respected and valued based on adoration and award. This award doesn't need to be something that comes on a plaque or in the form of a financial compensation, but it can be that really earnest communication from your coworker about how well you handled a situation, and how when you offer advice, people listen and take your advice as good counsel. The peak of the pyramid is known as the layer of transcendence, and it's really funny that that's the top word used in a pyramid, because the pyramid seems to imply that the growth ends when you reach the top. But transcendence is all about moving beyond the limitations that we set for ourselves and defining what it really means to be alive based on our own metrics, and to be able to forge that path with the people we love in a healthy and sustainable manner. So the idea is that health and wellness is more easily achieved as you build a strong foundation and you get closer to self-actualization. And it really is a need if you actually want to be a self-actualized person, is having a good quality and balance in your life. So health and wellness really includes key 3 areas. The first layer is your physical health. This means taking care of your body, being free from illness, or having the ability to adequately address any illnesses that you might have. The next area is behavioral health. Taking care of your mind, having the coping skills, and being aware of the need to address unhealthy thoughts and patterns. The last area is social health, which means getting along with others and having a reliable support system, whether that's friends, family, community members, religious groups. The 3 areas are all important as you strive to live a full, meaningful life. But it's important to remember that these areas will not always operate in perfect harmony. They're interconnected, which means they all impact one another. If one experiences stress, the others can be impacted as well. There's times where these areas are interrupted by significant life events, and that's really okay. It really is. But the most important part of that is that you're able to recognize these changes in key areas and find solutions in a timely manner to address the issues impacting those areas. We can really break down the 3 areas of health and wellness into 8 dimensions that we should focus on every day. Those are emotional, spiritual, intellectual, physical, environmental, financial, occupational, and social. You may notice on the graphic regarding the 8 dimensions of health and wellness provided by SAMHSA that they all are interconnected to others on the spectrum as well. Just like the 3 keys of health and wellness mentioned before, it's because they all are connected, and it's easy to build or disrupt multiple at the same time. So, let's do a quick health and wellness check-in. Before we review each domain, we want you to take a few minutes to reflect on each of the following questions and think about how you engaged in the following activities. Okay, here we go. Do you sleep for at least 7 to 8 hours every night? Number 2. Do you listen to music? Number 3. Have you spent time outside in the last 3 days? Number 4. Are you satisfied with your job performance at your place of employment? And the last question, number 5. Do you drink enough water? Did you think about each question? Good. Let's get into the dimensions, and then we can revisit these questions in a bit. So, the 8 dimensions of health and wellness highlight the ability to cope effectively, find meaning and purpose, seek ways to use knowledge, engage in physical activities, enjoy our surroundings, and have adequate resources to buy goods and services. So let's review each domain. The first domain is called the emotional domain. That's really our behavioral health. It's the ability to effectively cope with negative events, emotional thoughts and feelings, unexpected stress and life events. This domain also deals with the resilience, which is the ability to pull through and reset after something stressful, good or bad. The next domain is the spiritual domain. It's searching for and having peace, meaning, and purpose, holding on to your personal religious beliefs and connecting to your higher power. It's finding time to pray and meditate and connect to something that's not yourself. The third domain has to do with the intellectual aspects. It's wanting to know more, to learn more, teaching our skills to other people, searching for ways to use our talents and skills by ourselves or with other people. This could be exercises that keep our memory and concentration at healthy levels. The fourth domain is the physical domain. So this has to do with practicing good physical health habits, exercising regardless of the intensity, eating a balanced diet, getting proper rest. All involve how well we're taking care of our body. The fifth domain is about the environment. It's a feeling of being safe in and around your home, living in a safe neighborhood. Is your house clean and organized? Do you have access to clean air and water? Are there open spaces to move about freely? Are there any parks around you? All of these contribute to the environment. The sixth domain is the financial domain. This health and wellness domain is the ability to manage income, debt, and savings, as well as have a good understanding of financial literacy and adequate resources to buy goods and services. The seventh domain is the occupational domain. It means that you enjoy the work that you do. You enjoy working with your coworkers, and you're satisfied with your pay and benefits. It also means having a good work-life balance, and that you can manage workplace politics and stress. The eighth and final domain is the social domain. This domain is about having healthy relationships with friends, family, and the community. Spending time with people who have the same hobbies and interests, but also being able to express your feelings in a meaningful way. Now that you know the importance of each domain, let's reflect on each of the questions in our health and wellness check-in one more time. Question 1. Do you sleep for at least 7 to 8 hours every night? Remember, the first level of Maslow's hierarchy of needs says sleep is a basic human need. Getting a good night's rest is so important, and it addresses the physical and emotional domain. Sleep restores the body and puts the mind to rest. If you're not getting adequate sleep, creating a bedtime routine will definitely be a key tactic to use. Question number 2. Do you listen to some music? Have you ever turned the music up loud and sang along to your favorite song on the way to work? It's an instant pick-me-up and can make you laugh at yourself. Music helps with mood, it can get you moving, and it can inspire you through its messages. Listening to music can help you connect to the physical, emotional, intellectual, social, and spiritual domains. Question 3. Have you spent time outside in the last 3 days? Spending quiet time outside is healthy and addresses the physical, emotional, social, environmental domains. If you haven't been outside, try going on a walk, work in the garden, or ride your bicycle. Question number 4. Do you drink enough water? As you already know, drinking water has several benefits that impact health. Drinking water helps you stay hydrated, keeps your skin clear, keeps many of your body's essential processes running, and helps flush toxins and waste, just to name a few. And the last question, how satisfied are you with your current employment? Job satisfaction is so important to emotional health. A workplace that respects your culture, supports your creativity, and promotes safety and well-being helps with occupational wellness, as well as physical, social, and emotional health. If you answer no to some of these questions, you can definitely make some changes. Creating new habits that support your new journey to health and wellness can lead to more energy, better relationships, and positive feelings. Remember, this is a journey, so give yourself some grace as you begin to focus on areas in your life that need more focus and attention. Let's stay on job satisfaction and talk a little bit about workplace wellness, how being an educator can bring about feelings of compassion satisfaction, but at the same time, compassion fatigue, burnout, and secondary trauma. The Professional Quality of Life Scale discusses these feelings and provides information about them in terms of good feelings and bad feelings experienced by helping professionals. So let's start with compassion fatigue. We'll define compassion fatigue as the bad feelings helpers may experience in the midst of performing job duties. Educators can certainly experience compassion fatigue. These feelings may include frustration, resentment, and even depression as it relates to the job. Compassion fatigue also happens as educators help those who experience trauma, usually students. Being an educator means being exposed to and impacted by burnout and the secondary trauma that comes with seeing the trauma experienced by our students. The Professional Quality of Life indicators describe burnout as having difficulty in and not being effective at work. And some of that inefficacy can lead to apathy and disinterest in improving the situation at our workplace or our own station therein. Educators can also be significantly impacted by secondary trauma. Vicarious or secondary trauma is being exposed to trauma that happens to you either through observing or hearing stories from students or parents living in high-risk environments or who have experienced trauma themselves. As an educator, it's important that you reach out to administrators who can provide you with resources needed to address the feelings that you're experiencing. Gone unchecked, those feelings can have negative effects on your overall health, wellness, and job performance. The professional quality of life measure defines compassion satisfaction as the pleasure and satisfaction derived from working and helping, caring, giving systems. This directly is related to the occupational domain that says enjoying your choice of work and helping others is healthy and helps us stay happy. When we choose professions and have work that closely aligns with our personal values, it gives us a sense of purpose. And that's you as an educator. You chose and you work in a helping profession that works within an imperfect system to provide care to children and support the families of those children. Compassion satisfaction is the feeling that we get when the people that we're helping reach their potential. So take a minute to reflect on how you feel when a student achieves their personal best. Doesn't it give you a lot of satisfaction? Doesn't it feel like an accomplishment? Being an educator is challenging, but it is filled with so many rewards. Focusing on the positive outcomes and the achievements of students, no matter how small, will increase your occupational wellness. So let's talk about a few resources to address health and wellness that you can take away today. So the professional quality of life measure creators also created a helper pocket card, which reminds us and outlines how we should care about ourselves, especially when work becomes difficult and challenging. It can be printed out and kept in a place where you can refer to it as often as you need, and includes 10 activities to maintain a healthy work-life balance. And it keeps us in a mindset of compassion satisfaction. The bottom of the card is also important because it focuses on empathy, which is having concern for others. As an educator, there's a certain level of empathy that you bring to the job. That's your concern you have for the children and the families. It also talks about keeping your emotions in check and learning how to switch them on and off. It's an effective coping strategy to create a line between work and home that's not blurred. Empathy is an invaluable tool, but it can be exhausting when it's not kept separate as much as possible from your other work and life responsibilities. The card also includes ways to protect yourself from compassion fatigue, burnout, and secondary trauma that includes a deep breathing exercise. So why don't we try it now? Focused breathing is a mindfulness exercise and a good strategy that can be done at home, in the car, during physical activity, or anywhere that you can find quiet time and quiet space. Focused breathing exercises reduce levels of stress and anxiety, it relaxes the body, clears the mind, and it also really improves our overall mood and gives us a little bit of energy. So let's try out that deep breathing exercise. I want you to sit up straight, put your feet flat on the floor, and close your eyes. Now, if you're driving, of course, you're not going to want to close your eyes, but if you're in a place that's quiet and still, definitely close your eyes. We're going to take 5 deep breaths, breathing in slowly through our nose for 5 counts, and then slowly out through our mouth for 5 counts. During our breaths, we'll just focus on the 1 to 5 count and think of pleasant images or sceneries. So when we start, we're going to breathe in 5 through the nose and 5 out the mouth. Okay, let's close our eyes and let's breathe in through our nose for a count of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out through your mouth. 2, 3, 4, 5. In through your nose. 2, 3, 4, 5. Out through your mouth. 2, 3, 4, 5. In through your nose. Don't forget to think about your peaceful environment and images. Out through your mouth. 2, 3, 4, 5. In through your nose. 2, 3, 4, 5. Out through your mouth. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now open your eyes and stretch out real big to your sides and above you. Oh, how do you feel? This exercise should have helped you feel more relaxed, focused, and clear. You should have an increased awareness of your thoughts, feelings, and environment. There may be times where you need to practice deep breathing multiple times a day, and if that's a case, do it. Mindfulness is like any other skill or muscle. It takes intention to build. Now that our mind is clear, I would encourage you to take a few moments to reflect on the 8 domains. There's a simple exercise that allows us to assess our own perceptions of our 8 domains of health and wellness. It's called the Wellness Wheel. All you need to do is pull out a piece of scrap paper, or you could even use your phone if you feel comfortable enough drawing in your notes app. So we'll draw a circle. And then within that circle, we'll divide it up into 8 domains, just like we're slicing a pizza. 1 horizontal line, 1 vertical line, and 2 diagonal lines through the middle, to give us that perfect 8 pizza shape. And each of these pizza slices are one of your domains. Go ahead and label each domain with the domains listed on your screen. Remember, you can pause the video at any time and pick back up once you're done. The final step is coloring in each pizza slice with how full you think your domain is. This is completely what you think it should be, and it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. But what this does is it gives us a tool to self-reflect on where we think we're struggling and where we think we're doing the best. And it helps us see if there's incongruencies between our thoughts and actions. Here, if you look at the screen, you can see my personal wellness wheel. I do one of these every couple of months and compare where I was at before. If you don't know where you stand, you can't figure out how fast you need to jump. We have one additional assessment tool that we've already mentioned before. It's the Professional Quality of Life Measure. The measure can be found at no charge at proqual.org, PROQOL.org, along with the Helper's Pocket Card that I mentioned earlier. Just remember that maintaining health and wellness is important, whether you're looking for an effective approach to health and wellness or you're reflecting on your current health and wellness strategies. Coming up with some sort of individual health and wellness plan is a really key tactic. Making choices that are kind to yourself and having self-determination will produce your desired outcomes. Addressing health and wellness is a lifelong journey. It should be approached with patience and an open mind, knowing that everything will not change all at once. It's a process. So good luck on your journey and try to have some fun along the way.